Alright, so here I'm going to do another quick little video about my water heater. I already showed you where it's located inside the closet, right? Now, so one time I tried to do that whole solar shower thing. Well, you know what? Let me flip this around. Flip this around so you get there you go. So one time I decided to do that whole solar shower thing early in the morning. I had to be at work at like 9 o'clock. So I got up and filled a solar bag full of water, stuck it out in the hood, and well, guess what? There's no sunlight. No sunlight equals no heat. So I had to take a cold bath that day. That was back in when the van wasn't built out, and I had the tub. If you watched my old videos, I had the tub in there. So I had to pour 2 gallons of cold water on my body. It was terrible. I learned a lesson. That whole solar bag thing sounds good, but yeah, no. So I decided, you know what? Why not have hot water in the van? Not on demand. I don't mind using the little propane cans. I'm just not really into big propane tank. What I decided is, well, in your house, guess what? You have a hot water heater, which is nothing more than a tank full of water that every now and then the flame bird comes on and heats the water up and keeps it at a certain temperature. So I thought, why not do the same thing? So here's the answer to that. So I got this nice little box here. So what I do is this. So I got this top. I take that top off. Then I got some more reflectant on top of that. And then I got a little bit more. That one thing is like a 1/2 inch. So the weakest area is at the top. Then I got this one, which is, you can see, I kind of push it down in there to kind of make it tight. And then there you go. It's a cooler that you see on the round coolers you see on the back of a lot of work trucks. Put some more reflecting on the top there. As you can see, I wrapped it. Right? You can see I wrapped it. I got 2 inches on this side, 2 inches on this side. There's 2 inches at the bottom. Now, I had 2 inches all the way around, but it was sticking out too far. So I had to take 1 inch off on these 2 sides. So that's why it's like that, and a little uneven. So yeah, you take that off, and guess what? They got water inside your van. Now here's the important thing. If you remember my video, you remember which one? The video, I don't even know the title of it. Oh, Finally It's Functional, where I talk about the doors. My door goes right here, which means it's nice and warm in here. On the other side of that door, it can get kind of cold, but nice and warm here. So my hot water is inside where I wash up right here. I'll go into that in another video. So I just scoop my water out of there. Now you're probably thinking, well, okay, look, let me flip it back around. Let me flip it back around. So look, what I was going to do is, my thought was, every now and then I just heat up the water and keep it warm. And so but I found out if I put hot water in there to get started, it stays, even in the wintertime, it stays hot for 2 days. Well, hot for a day and warm the second day. So warm enough that you can wash up with it without having to heat it. Which is, because your body doesn't like it if it gets, a little on the other side of warm. If you got a middle line for warm and it crosses that other line, even though it feels warm, and once you're taking a wash up, your body's like, ooh, that's a little chilly. No, it's still nice and warm. You're comfortable in 2 days in the wintertime with this system that I created. Now, my thought was, I'll just keep every now and then, I'll just heat the water up, which is no different than a water heater. But then I realized, you know what, with a propane cooker, it takes like less than a minute. Minute and a half, something like. It's very quick. By the time I take my shirt off and my socks off and I'm ready to wash up, the water is boiling. I usually have my pot right here, right next to me. So I just scoop the water out, put it in the pot, and then I wash up over here, which I'll show you in another video. By being inside of here, even if you don't do anything to it, it's still going to be, room temperature water as compared to going back on the other side of that door where I store water also. It's cold. So you got cold water over there because it's outside my 1 inch wall, and then inside here is still, lukewarm. So that's my water heater system. Then what you got to do after you scoop the water out, you put that back on there. Now I don't really do all this in the summertime. I don't, in the wintertime, you know, yeah, I'm gonna put this back in here like that, try and, you know, make it nice. And because in the wintertime I want to keep it from, I'm not trying to keep it hot. In the wintertime I'm trying to keep it from getting cold, that's all. So I'm gonna do all this, put all that back in there, and just to keep it so it stays lukewarm temperature. And then honestly, I usually have this on top of there, and then I put the bucket on top of there too, so I have weight pushing this down, and that way it stays you know, room temperature. And now actually in the summertime, it's well, it's still room temperature, but it can actually start to heat up on its own if it's really hot, because your van is hot. So whatever you put in the van stays in the van, so it actually becomes, you know, a little bit what you call lukewarm. So there you go. All right, and that's a wrap.